the Elite Sim Racing. I'll tell you what, you know what, they put on a good show in Season 3, and they're putting on a pretty good show here in Season 4. 559 points to the good side. Neil Fonzo, Wilson, and Riddle on the track tonight here at Talladega in second place. And kind of moving up last week. They kind of stagnated this week, but they're in second place, guys. Hall's on post. Going to be Dwayne Hall, Kyle Lent, James Grigate tonight, Tracy.
And in third place right now tonight is Dragon Motorsports. They're up one spot this week with 491 points. They're 68 points behind the leader. I tell you what, and that's they were really good for Dragon Motorsports moving their way forward. And in fourth spot, you have Iron Pigs Racing, which we just mentioned. They were 443 points behind, had 443 points, 116 points behind the leaders, JD.
You bet. ETV Live filling in the fifth place spot here, guys. 165 points behind the leader. But I'll tell you what, that second set of numbers back there, that's the distance between the next team in front of them. So they're 49 points away from the team that's in front up there, Iron Pig Racing Team. ETV Live looking pretty sharp tonight. 33 of Jerry Hinkle, the 28 of Howard Pittman. Brian Pace on the track tonight. RaceSimNation.net, Tracy, they're in sixth position, up one position this week. Kevin Franks, Roger Haygood, and Jason Krause at Talladega here tonight, 166 points behind the leader. But, Tracy, they're only 1 point behind ETV Racing Team.
Yeah, I tell you what, running in seventh position is that MTCO Racing Team. They're down one spot this week with 364 points. 195 points behind those leaders, but they're only 29 points behind ETV Live Racing, JD, or RaceSim Nation this week. So a good race they could get back up there. And in your eighth position is a Cross-Up Motorsports team with 320 points. They're 239 points behind the leader and 44 points behind MTCO. So they got to do some work, get their way moved back up there, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, qualifying in tonight for the house team is going to be the 66 of Greg Warren, new driver here to the nation. The 34 car of Joe DePino, I believe, is qualifying in tonight. More information on that. He's coming out of Iron Pigs Racing. The 00, Ben Bando, and the number 10 of Sean Bickle qualifying in for the house team tonight. And Tracy, why don't we go ahead and go down through our picks here tonight, and I'll tell you how I got them ranked here at Talladega. This after 8 times that the nation has been to Talladega. We got Elite Sim Racing at the top. Elite drivers have been here off and on over the last couple of seasons here. 8 races in the stats here. 2 wins, 2 top 10s to their name. Now, this is based off of individual driver stats. Dragon Motorsports, they've got collectively 3 top 5 finishes, 8 top 10s here at Talladega. In third, we've got Halls on Post ranked. And 3 top 5s, 2 top 10s. Iron Pig Racing coming in fourth here, but more information on them later on. ETV Racing filling in the fifth spot here. 3 top 5s, 1 top 10 to their drivers' credits. Now, Tracy, some other interesting information here. The pole sitter has only won here once. The lap leader has never won. And we've got an average of 14 lead changes we'll see here tonight at Talladega. But you know what? I think it's time that we send it on down trackside and present the Cactus Cuties with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
All right, and we are back live. And I'll tell you what, ready to start this baby off here tonight. Talladega Motor Speedway, the RSN Team Racing Series, Tracy. And we'll get these guys lined up on the grid down here, starting out on the pole tonight. That 00 car qualifying in for the house team, Ben Bando with a 51.13, Tracy. In second place, outside him, is going to be the 55 car, Dwayne Hall for Halls on Post, qualifying in with a 51.14.
And starting third tonight, the 96 of Jason Riddle. And starting fourth tonight, the 4 of James Dregate in the 7 car.
And on the inside, starting in fifth, going to be the 99 car of Steven Spieth. Outside him, in sixth position, the 84 car, Chris Wilson.
And starting seventh tonight, the 24 of Ernie D'Alfonso. And in the 8th spot, the 16 of Kyle Lynn.
Jesse the Wall Banger Racimus in that number 70 Red Bull Toyota, starting in ninth position. On the outside of him will be the 47 car for RaceSimNation.net, Roger Hager.
And in 11th spot, the 34 of the counselor, Joe DePino. And right beside him, in the 12th position, the 65 of Sean Brown.
And for Dragon Motorsports on the inside, in 13th position, the 27 car, Larry Mullican. On the outside, in 14th and 17, Tom Polzinski.
And starting in 15th spot, and for Dragon Motorsports, the 22, Frankie Zamato. And starting in 16th spot for RSN is the 77 of Jason Krause.
Who's going to finish second? Hal Beardworth in that number 3 car from Crosstown Motorsports in 17th on the inside. Outside him with a rare appearance at Talladega, number 10, Sean Bickel.
And starting in 19th spot, the 66 of Greg Warren. He's a new driver that's racing for RSN. And starting next to him in the 20th position for ETV Live, the 33 of Jerry Hinkle.
Dragon Motorsports, Jody Johnson starting on the inside, 21st position, and 22nd on the outside, Kevin Franks.
And starting in 23rd, the 28 of Howard Pittman for ETV Live. And starting next to him in 24th, there's 37 of Jay Bunn.
And in 25th position on the inside, the 15 car, Brian Pace. Outside him tonight, bringing up the rear of the field, the 91 of Blaine Dockery. And Tracy, 2.6 miles here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Banked at, I believe it's 33 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit sharper, a little bit steeper than Daytona. And I'll tell you what, new track, fresh pavement. We've seen the result of this track before. In fact, we've been here about 8 different times, and caution average running about 2.5. Lead changes, Tracy. We'll see 14 of them at least tonight.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we got that second line that's going to work good tonight. It's much improved over what it was before, JD, as we're getting ready to head to the green flag.
You bet Ben Bando's going to pick this one up. He's got Dwayne Hall on the outside, and Dwayne Hall's got a couple of top 5 finishes here at Talladega. We'll see what he can do with his team here tonight. The Halls on Post boys is James Bregate and Kyle Lent with him tonight. Tony Bowling sitting this one out as the green flag comes out, and we are racing at Talladega.
Yeah, look to these guys that stay side by side, JD, here for quite a few laps. Being that outside line is working a little better than it used to, a lot smoother track, should end up being some really good racing.
Yeah, you bet. And again, going over some of these statistics here, is we're still 2 by 2 here. Probably be that way for a couple of laps until things get straightened out here. But interesting statistics here, Tracy. Covering in the pre-race show here, the pole sitter has only won here one time in the 8 races, and the driver with the most laps led has never won at Talladega.
Yeah, it's going to make for some great racing out here all night anyway, JD. It's just a good track. You'll see that upper line. They're trying to work together, but I tell you, to stay behind the guy is really tough with these market cars. The front ends are a little bit more rounder, and the bumpers don't quite line up, JD.
Yeah, Jesse Racimus almost taking it 3 wide going through the tri-oval there, but Jesse Racimus hanging on the bottom down here. And behind Ernie D'Alfonso in that 24 machine for Elite Sim Racing. Still 2 by 2 here, but you know what? The top line kind of losing out to the bottom line, but hey, only the first lap into this thing. 80 laps here at Talladega, Tracy, so we've got plenty of time to find out if this thing's going to work. If we go 3 wide going into turn 3 here.
Yeah, Jesse Racimus was trying to get up there in that high lane, JD, to lead him along. Luckily, there's a gap for him there on that bottom lane right in front of Tom Lazinski, his teammate. So probably that teammate gave him a little space, let him fill in, and get back down there to the bottom line before he lost too many spots, JD. But you do got Hall and Close working together, that top line, trying to get that top line moving with Dwayne Hall, the track master builder himself, who has helped us readjust this track to get that high line working, JD.
Yeah, 65 car Sean Brown for CrossFit Motorsports jumps up to the outside up here. They're trying to get something going here. Going to try to hook up with Dwayne Hall and get that top line going. A couple others out here in the top line. The 96 Jason Riddle, Ernie D'Alfonso for Elite Sim Racing up here on the top side, trying to hook it up and make this thing go. Now, as I understand it from Trackmaster Dwayne Hall, when they repaved this track and reworked it for the nation here, Tracy, they were able to manipulate some technical aspects of this track, try to make that top line up there a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, try to make it the way Talladega is, where the high line does work quite well out there. As long as you got guys working with you, can stay on your bumper, they'll get them around there. To tell you what, these guys are doing a great job running out here, as it looks like the Halls and Post car got pushed up there, JD. James Grigay got kind of out of the groove. 84, Chris Wilson got underneath him. Chris Wilson trying to work his way up to his two teammates up there, JD.
Hey, you bet. And I'll tell you what, still 2x2 back here. These guys are anxious, trying to make this top line work here at Talladega. Test this thing out and see if we can't get a run going here up on the top. But you know, Tracy, it takes a lot of patience. You got to stay with it. You can't expect to move forward in the first couple of laps. You got to work that top side, get some help up there, get some commitment from other drivers up there to make that thing work. And you just got to stay with it. You can't give up, the first couple of laps around if you don't make any headway.
Yeah, I was just watching, JD. Quite a few of them took off, and they went and got out of that high line, kind of moved down. Jay Blunt, he moved up his way behind the 84 of Chris Wilson. He moved up to the high line, but all of them Halls and Post car have all moved down to that lower line now, JD.
You bet. And while we're getting around track here at Talladega, I want to mention that the E-Plays, you want to watch this race again, you get over to the E-Play site, etv-eplay.net, and you can download them and watch them again over there, and get signed up over there. And the unique thing is, this time with the new site that ETV has over there, the E-Play site, you can actually comment on the videos that you see. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people have been logging in, commenting on the videos, and I'll tell you what, they're certainly putting ETV on the map.
They tell you what, the E-Play store was a great place to go, nice looking site. Good videos held up there, and pretty good promotion for people to be able to get free downloads and watch those videos, JD.
And I'll tell you what, a little bit of shake-up up here on the top line here, and a couple of different people are trying things out here. Joe DePino, he's been pretty much up there from the get-go up here. He's got the 70 of Jesse Racimus behind him. 17 car Tom Plazinski, the 96 and the 24 still up there hanging out on that top side up there. Now Chris Wilson has joined as the 70 car into the wall coming off the tri-oval, Tracy. So 70 car Jesse Racimus in that Red Bull Toyota backing down here a little bit, 3 wide coming into turn 2 here, guys.
He was just showing us, JD, that you can bang the wall at Talladega too as much as you do any other track. But I was looking up at the front cars. You got them 2 house cars, the 00 Ben Bando, the 999 the Speeds, doing a great job. And I'll tell you what, that Dragon Motorsports team doing what they can to get forward. They got 2 cars running in 3rd and 4th, and I know the 3rd car is working his way up there. The 96 of Jason Riddle gets under and goes around Joe DePino, making a 3rd line, being followed by that 24 car, JD.
You bet. 3 wide here, going down through the trial with your guys, and it's not just 1 car, it's 3 cars, 4 cars, 3 wide. It looks like the entire Elite Sim Racing team taking it 3 wide, shooting down the middle here. Got Joe DePino up on the outside here. Is Tom Plazinski almost makes connection with the 34 car. But I tell you what, they're getting pretty racy with 7 laps into this thing already, Tracy. A lot of racing left here.
Yeah, I tell you what, you want to hang out with this group. You don't want to lose that draft. Once you lose that drive, you'll fall off way back behind them. You you'll see all these guys trying to take advantage of the runs. They're going to get on the cars in front of them. Sometimes you just got to stay in line and stay with the group and just kind of ride it out here. Right around, lap 16 to 18 laps, we're going to see these cars pitting, JD.
Yeah, Tracy, tires should be a no-brainer here. No tire issues at all at Talladega. In fact, we may see a lot of just right side tires being changed, some left side tires only being changed. Fuel is the issue here, and sometimes it does come down to a few mileage race, but we won't know that until a little bit later on in the race. But I think you're absolutely right. We're probably looking at about 18 or so laps. I've heard anywhere from 19 to 20. But, hey, you know what? It depends on the gearing that you have in your car. That's going to determine what kind of mileage your car is going to get out here at Talladega at these big plate tracks.
You know what? I think if you were to have two setups made up, depending on how you qualified that night, if you qualified towards the back, run a car with a taller gear. Get yourself that better fuel mileage because you'll be drafting all the time with these guys. And if you can get that extra lap and a half farther than everybody else, tell you what, you're going to have one less pit stop than everybody else if it was to go green all the way, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, let's take a minute and talk about last week's race. We were at Gateway International Speedway last week, and I'll tell you what, as we go three wide again, going down the back down here, guys, I'll tell you what, they're absolutely putting this thing together. The 17 Tom Plazinski on the inside, Elite Sim Racing up on the outside this time. And I'll tell you what, they're getting awful brave here. And I'll tell you, talking about last week's race at Gateway, things kind of came unglued the last part of that race, Tracy, as they have the past couple of races here at the RSM Team Racing Series. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that happen at Talladega here tonight.
It's looking pretty good right now, JD. I don't see too many issues. Everybody seems to be able to handle three cars wide. Looks like maybe one of the Dragon Motorsports car just got shoved there in the middle between that Elite Sim Racing and that whole bottom line, JD.
Yeah, I'm watching Jay Bunn back here is in the 37 machine back here. And, some shakeups on the teams. I understand that the MTCO, we're still going to call it the MTCO.com racing team. However, apparently they are not driving the MTCO cars any longer, and I presume that new paint jobs will be forthcoming. And another shake-up here in the RSN Team Series 2 is Iron Pig Racing, who's been progressively climbing in the standings, Tracy, have pulled their cars over some kind of a squabble happening here in the RSN Team Series. I'm not privy to any information regarding that, but kind of unbelievable that the Iron Pigs would pull out of the Team Racing Series when they've been doing an excellent job with points.
Yeah, sometimes, if you're minding into it due to whichever reason there is, sometimes you don't get to go to the race with the right mindset. So your best, sometimes, like I said, in that situation, they thought it was more fruitful for them to just pull out. That way, nothing escalates or gets any worse, and everybody can keep on racing happily, JD.
You bet. As Brian Pace stuck in the middle, contact with that 37 machine. Oh, almost going to put him into the wall. But Brian Pace able to get past that 37 machine, left a little bit of paint on the left-hand side of that Texas RSN car for Jay Bunn there, guys. But I'll tell you what, Brian Pace moving his car forward, got out of that three wide, but it was scraping his way past that 37 machine.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it here, that Elite Sim Racing team being pulled along. I think 55 of Dwayne Hall still out in front of them. Take a look. No, he's not. But I tell you what, the Elite Sim Racing team, all three cars working together, JD. They've caught them leaders on the outside line.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, it all comes down to geometry and a lot of other things. But here's the deal, Tracy. The three cars, this is three cars versus about 10 or 15 cars down there on the bottom. And the three cars have a much lighter load going around the track than that line down there on the bottom. Of course, you get 10, 15 cars together. If you put them all on a scale, they weigh a lot more than just three cars. So physics should tell you that the 3 cars should be able to outrun that bottom line, and they're doing exactly that as they take the lead.
Yep, they're taking the lead up there, JD. Another thing is those 3 drivers work pretty hard together. It looks like they're almost all 3 cars pushing each other with 84 Chris Wilson kind of stuck in the middle there, but we do know that Elite Sim racing cars are always fast, but they also drink a lot more gas than a lot of guys out there, and they usually end up having to pit a little sooner than a lot of people, and that's cost them races quite a few times, JD.
You bet. Elite Sim Racing taking the lead up here, so that puts all 3 cars on the team out in front, getting past the 00. Ben Banda, who pretty much led all the laps here from the get-go, your pole sitter here at Talladega here tonight. So Elite Sim Racing out in front. Tracy, this might be a good time to explain to the viewers how this works out and why it's so important that those 3 cars stay together. It's not about who wins the race. It's about where you and your team finish on the grid, and hopefully that's going to be as far forward and as close together as possible.
Yeah, they're doing the best job of it right now. But you know what, JD? This is still early in the race. We don't give points for leading them halfway of this race. We pay the most points for winning the race. So, tell you what, this shows their cars have got speed and quite a bit of power, but we just got to see how that fuel mileage deal is going to turn out, because like I said, that will change this whole race, JD, depending on how that runs.
You bet. And I just looked up and I saw a message from James Greegate entering the pits. I don't know if that was just recently or whether he's going to be on his way into the pits.
Yeah, we're probably getting pretty close to him. Yeah, I would say it's this lap or next lap, JD, for sure. Because I tell you what, they're drinking a lot of piss. Like the James Greegate machine is motioning. He'll be entering pit road, JD. I think I'm going to jump on the camera, keep an eye on that entrance to pit road, JD, while you're calling the race.
Hey, Ben, I'm kind of following the 7 of James Greegate around here. James Greegate running in 16th position back here for Hallzone Motorsports, guys. So James Greegate signaling his pit, and we're also getting a report that somebody's smoking out here on the track, guys. Cycling around trying to find it here. Chris Wilson also signaling to pit here. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Elite Sim Racing team, guys, to see if they all come in together.
Yeah, you would think they would, just to keep the drafting partners together. And we're going to have to see how they get on pit road. This is going to be the first time they're going to hit the pit road at full speed tonight, JD. We know this is the worst part of probably the whole track, because you see a lot of cars spinning out. We got all 3 of them in, plus 3 cars following them, JD. So far, it's all clean. Everybody's entered good, JD.
All right, Elite Sim Racing team, Chris Wilson, Ernie D'Alfonso, and Jason Riddle making their pit stops, along with the 47 car Roger Haygood, Jason Krause in the 77 machine. We'll keep an eye on the rest of them out here on the track, and you're absolutely right. The transition from the racing surface onto that apron down there, you got to get that thing woed up from about 190 miles an hour, Tracy, and get that thing woed up so you cross that commit line at only 55 miles an hour. And it looks like somebody... John, I think I found that smoker out there. It looks like it might be the 70 of Jesse Racimus. Remember, he made contact with the wall here a few laps ago as he breaks off for his pit stop. And I thought I saw somebody spinning around here.
Car crashing on the entrance to pit road. Car spun out, hit the inside wall. Not too sure if that... Another car spun out, JD. 2 cars into the wall entering pit road. I'll get you your numbers here in just a minute as they come down here.
And 3 wide going down pit road here, trying to get into their boxes. I'll tell you what, it's supposed to be single file. It's like the 15 of Brian Pace and the 28 of Howard Pittman in trouble on their pit entrance down here, guys. But no caution has come out. Green flag is still flying. So, Tracy, you got any more information on that?
Well, I think we got JD. He could probably pull a replay of right when they're entering that corner, JD, but I know there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now, Tracy. See what happened. It looks like somebody might have made a little contact with Howard Pittman there. I'm not quite positive, but pow! Howard Pittman just plows that inside wall here, and I thought I'd seen Brian Pace round 2 here on Perry. Yes, he definitely goes around 2, and that 15 machine hits the inside wall as well.
Always a problem here at Talladega, guys, and I'll tell you, we've seen it time and time again, Tracy, where, you gotta start working the brakes about halfway down the backstretch back there and get them babies warmed up. And then, when you make that transition, getting off the throttle, getting down one gear, and letting that car, slowly roll down to a speed where you can start going down through the gears safely. As a caution comes out for the first time, guys, caution come out. Jesse Racimus in the grass down here. I don't know if that was him or not. I'll have to cycle it around here and see if we can't see what at least I saw. Jesse, I see Jesse turn around backwards in his pit stall, so I don't think it was that. So I don't know why the caution came out. All right, I'm hearing that it may have been Jesse Racimus bringing that caution out, spinning around here down in the pits, Tracy.
Let me see if I can pull this back. Jesse Racimus did pull down his pits. He's backwards in his stall. He gets it whipped back around, going to come back out of pit road. I believe he's going to come back out on the track here. I mean, I think I caught it in one of our corner cams here. Treads have been kind of slow lately. And he's going to loop it around after he gets out of pit road here, guys. And I'm just not sure what happened there, but I believe that's what brought out the caution.
Yeah, that to me, Tracy, looks more like a frustrated driver than anything. If you go all the way back to his pit stop, he's coming down, gets into his box, and takes off out of his box, has a good pit stop, goes to take out of his box, spins the tires, spins around, gets it straightened out, heads back down pit road, and then as soon as he makes the transition up onto the track, right into the outside wall. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is there.
Yeah, I know he's running a foot clutch there, JD. If you stomp off that foot clutch and you're on the throttle too hard, it'll actually break your tires loose there on that corner of being such high bank, and it'll turn the car directly in the wall just like it showed there. Oh my God, we got a big crash. Looks like under yellow flags, JD. A bunch of cars sliding off all over the place, smoke and everything going on down here.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and step away, and we'll take a commercial break right here and see if we can't come back and bring you a little bit more information on what's taking place here at Talladega. Unusual circumstances here tonight with the RSN Team Racing Series. So hey, sit tight, don't go away. We'll be right back. ETV Live. Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey, man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower-cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass. DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com. All right, and we are back live, and I'll tell you what, taking a second look at the incident on the pace lap here, it looked like the 16 was involved, the 65 car involved, Roger Haygood involved in that too, in that 47 machine, Tracy, and what looked like to me, looked like the 16 car was probably catching up to the rest of the group. Now, this is just after pit stops, mind you, coming off pit road, they've got to get around the track, catch up with the pace car and the rest of the group, and they were just going too fast, a couple of them laying on the brakes real hard, and trying to avoid collisions. Of course, obviously, some of them didn't make the evasive action and did collide into other cars.
Yeah, the typical highway-style crash where one person gets into somebody else, and then by the time each person knows that, you got a big long pile up, and it looked like the 65 had a checkup for the cars in front of him, lit up the right front tire, and the 16 got in his brakes pretty fast. The 37 just about had his car slowed down, but unfortunately that party behind him didn't quite catch the checkup. The 47 got in the back of the 37, and that propelled him into the 16, JD. So a few cars took damage, but everybody kept going.
You bet. And then number 70 machine from Jesse Racimas up on the hauler, headed for the barn tonight here from Talladega. And also Larry Mulligan for Dragon Motorsports. I tell you what, that's going to be kind of a devastating night for Dragon Motorsports here tonight. Larry Mulligan signing on just recently with the team as we get set to go back racing here. Frankie Samato for Dragon Motorsports out in front here, as I think we're going to get to one more lap to go here. Not quite sure what happened to Larry Mulligan here, guys, but Dragon Motorsports is going to have 2 cars out here on the track tonight, Tracy.
Well, I'm going to go try to figure this out, JD, real quick as the restart comes around.
All right, and as far as the restart goes, looks like it's going to be Frankie Samato, Blaine Dockery, Ben Bando, who qualified in tonight, and Hal Beardsworth for Crossed Up Motorsports, Roger Haygood in that 47 machine, and the RaceMNation.net team. That's your top 5 on this restart. Now, we were watching the Elite Sim Racing team who made that top line work. They had 3 cars hooked up, nose to tail, and got past the 10-15 car pack that was on the bottom, had the lead going into what we assumed was going to be the green flag pit stops, and now Elite Sim Racing is pretty much scattered all over the track nowadays.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's going to change things up just for those pit stops, because Elite Sim Racing definitely going to stop again to get on the proper fuel sequence with everybody else, JD.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, starting out with the number 14 car of Jason Riddle, he's in 14th place, and then a little ways behind him in 21st place is going to be Chris Wilson. And, of course, in between, right behind Jason Riddle is going to be that 24 car, Ernie Alfonso. So you got 2 in 14th and 15th, and teammate Chris Wilson smoking here, I'm being told, guys, back here in 21st. So maybe an issue with that 84 machine.
Yeah, JD, it looked like he might have had a brake hung up or something there for a few seconds. He was definitely dragging that right rear tire. In fact, it might have been both right rear tires. Yeah, that was good. Both rear tires, JD.
both right rear tires. I don't know what kind of car you drive. Mine only got one rear tire.
ETV blooper, 197,000.
There you go. I tell you what, we have more fun here on ETV. All right, we are absolutely set to take the green flag this time around, and working caution number 1 here. With the incident on pit road with the 70 machine. But Frankie Samato going to pick up the green flag for Dragon Motorsport, Blaine Dockery, Bando, Beardsworth, and Haygood. Your top 5 here, Tom Plazinski, Sean Bickel moving up through the pack tonight. And haven't seen Sean Bickel out here for quite some time, Tracy.
Yeah, good to see Sean back out there. I went and checked out to see what happened to Larry Mulligan. Looked like he had an electrical issue. Sent him out of the race, so bad luck for that Dragon Motorsports team. And I was trying to watch it back here, the 2 halls of post cars, the 7 and the 16, just about just a little bumping into each other just for that green flag came out, JD. Because we got actually all halls and post team, all 3 are here in the back row there, JD.
Yeah, speaking of halls on post, 55 car Dwayne Hall signaling for a pit stop here, guys. I'll tell you what, I don't know if that was for real or an accidental push of the button here. But watching that 55 machine back here in 23rd, 24th place, coming down pit road, I got a funny feeling this is to clear a black flag, Tracy.
Kind of funny, he got a penalty there, but because usually they get rid of him for the race, put you toward the back. But yeah, as he heads down that slow long drive down pit road, JD.
Better watch to keep an eye on the 55 machine, but back out here on the track, Frankie Samato for Dragon Motorsports is going to be up to him and Jody Johnson, the only 2 Dragon Motorsports cars left. Still haven't caught up with Larry Mulligan yet to find out what happened to that number 27 machine. We'll see if we can't get him up here in the booth and get a check on that. But in the meantime, single file racing, nobody's jumped up to try that top line yet. And I'll tell you what, we were watching that Elite Sim Racing team here a while back, and we'll keep our eyes on them. Jody Johnson and the 28 machine of Howard Pittman trying to hook up back here in 12th and 13th places. They get side by side here, 28 making contact with Johnson, but looks like they're about a little bit off the pace here.
Yeah, they kind of fell off from the lead pack group there, JD. There's a big group back here that is a good 2 seconds off that lead group, and they're going around the 28 Howard Pittman lead some racing drivers trying to get all hooked up together here and get their run down the straightaways and catch up to that big pack ahead of them. And I tell you what, sometimes if you lose that front pack, it's going to be really difficult to catch back up to it because everybody's running so even. But you do have 2 cars up there trying to start a second line, JD.
Yeah, trying to, but looks like Jay Bunn thinks twice about it, pulls back down on line, leaves the hole for teammate Tom Plazinski, and both of those drivers running for MTCO.com racing team. But trying to make that upper line work, you're right, Tracy, but couldn't get her done. No help, and there's only about maybe 8 or 10 cars up here in this lead pack up here. So 2 against 8 just isn't going to work. But you do have to have some help. Meanwhile, back here with Elite Sim Racing guys, with Chris Wilson bringing up the tail back here in 13th. Jason Riddle in 12th, Ernie D'Alfonso in 11th. They've gotten hooked up and trying to catch up to that lead pack, Tracy.
I tell you what, they got to get up there too, because it's going to take a while to get back up to him. I see the 22 of, or 14 of Jody Johnson. Everybody kind of went around him there, JD. Kind of left him behind, so hopefully he'll hang on to that lead pack, because he got Jerry Hinkle just pulled down in front of him. But I think, not too sure, I don't think Jerry Hinkle has any damage, so they should be able to stay up with that group, and hopefully all those cars can draft up the top 2 or not.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, we're going to see if we can't get a hold of the driver of that number 27 machine for Dragon Motorsports, Larry Mulliken, and get him up in the booth, find out what happened to that 27 machine. But in the meantime, Talladega Speedway out here, guys. The RSN Team Racing Series. Dwayne Hall finally makes it back out on the track. And if the lucky dog comes out, Dwayne Hall should be, well, actually, he's being shown on the lead lap. But I got a funny feeling it probably won't last very long. And I understand we've got Larry Mulliken with this. Larry, issues with that 27 machine tonight.
Yep, I had ignition problems tonight. I had a good run going and good strategy going with my teammates, too.
That's unfortunate. That's going to leave Frankie Samanto and Jody Johnson out there for Dragon Motorsports. Dragon Motorsports, you guys doing a bang-up job this week, up 1 position. And I'll tell you what, the 27 car not able to complete the race tonight. That's going to set you guys back a little bit, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think we could have, easily all of us could have gotten in the top 10 tonight and so get us big points, tonight. But I guess it's not going to happen now.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys can still get out of here and hold your heads up high no matter where you finish. I'll tell you, last couple of races, Dragon Motorsports pretty much getting themselves together up in the top 10 towards the finish. And of course, it's only been some of the things we've been watching here in the RSN Team Series. The last 10 laps or so, some wild racing going on, and you guys have certainly worked hard to get where you're at. And I'll tell you what, moving up in the points, don't let this one get you down for sure.
No, we got plenty of races left to get where we need to be, so we'll get it worked out.
Bet, and I'll tell you what, I know Dragon Motorsports team owner Wendy Bernard, she's always got good things to say. She's very proud of the team. I'll tell you what, that was Larry Mulliken, driver of that number 27 Dragon Motorsports, joining us here just for a few minutes. Out of the race tonight here at Talladega. Unfortunate for that team, but I'll tell you what, they do work hard. They'll get it back together, Tracy, and they'll keep it moving forward.
Yeah, sometimes, your fate isn't chosen by you. Somebody else chooses your fate for you. Tell you what, you can go in there with the greatest plan, the best cars, and all it takes is that 15-cent part to knock you out of the race, JD. Yeah,
15-cent part, that's all it takes. As back out here on the track, I tell you what, Ernie D'Alfonso, the entire Elite team, they've caught up to that lead pack, Tracy, and again, they're making that top line work one more time.
Yeah, they brought a lot of cars with them, JD. Tell you what, brought a lot of guys back up into that lead pack, which is good to get everybody back together after a restart, but then at the same time, you got just more chance to cause another yes, JD.
You bet. They're pulling along. It looks like Sean Brown bringing up the tail end on that top lineup there. And Joe DePino coming along too. And here comes Jerry Hinkle. Oh, 37 car getting out of shape, guys, into the...
All right, yellow flag.
I'll have to look that one back, man. That one happened quick. 37 car getting out of shape here, and he got into Brian Pace, I think it was.
I'm queuing it up now, JD. See what can happen. I mean, these guys are all double file here. They're racing hard. Looks like the elite team's up there on the high line trying to make that work again. See what happens as they come into the corner here. Jay Bunn looks like he drifted up. I can't quite tell why. He might have got a bad bump draft there coming in that corner. And it looked like he had a bad bump draft from the 15 of Brian Pace, and that's going to send him up the track, make contact, come back down, hit Pace, and a slow, lazy slide across the bottom apron here, guys. Don't look like he's going to take a whole lot of damage. I didn't quite see any other cars involved, really.
Yeah, as long as he keeps that nose clean.
Man, I'll tell you what, run that replay again and climb inside the cockpit of the 14 car of Jody Johnson. I'll tell you what, there's a wild ride, and Jody Johnson, outstanding job avoiding colliding with the 37 machine. He's got the 15 of Brian Pace down around the bottom as he gets around the back end of the 37 machine. He's sliding sideways down the track here, but I'll tell you what, good move by that Dragon Motorsports driver, Jody Johnson, guys. All right, caution number 2 coming out here on that lap 32. And I'll tell you what, Jay Bunn, that's exactly what I saw, Tracy. It looks like Jay Bunn might have gotten a bump draft in the turn. Here's the deal, Tracy. Bump drafting is one thing, but you do not want to do it in the turns. You've got to get off the throttle to maintain your position, hold your car down, hold your line, and try to avoid making contact with the car in front of you. But I'll tell you what, this is the result.
Yeah, JD, I'm just really looking at this close, trying to see all what happened there. Yeah, it looks like you got just a little bump, enough to upset the car. I tell you what, if with these round front ends, these flat back ends, it doesn't take a whole lot to move a person off the front end. So, kind of moved it up. Looked like he just got up into somebody when he slid up the track there. And then just brought out got him, again, like I said, that real slow slide when he got into the 65 Sean Brown and then caught the 15 of Brian Pace.
You bet. And of course, everybody hitting down pit road here. We got a couple of them staying out. Joe DePino staying out on the track. I believe it was Jason Krause, if I'm not mistaken, also staying out. And it's like just 3 of them staying out on our track, guys, and the rest of them coming down pit road. So I'll tell you what, this will be another opportunity for ETV to go ahead and take another commercial break. You're watching it live, ETV Live. There is no other choice, cowboy. And I'll tell you what, RSN Team Racing Series live from Talladega Motor Speedway. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Gorilla Customs manufactures cockpit simulation controls and performance computers that are innovative and at the highest level of design and application standard. They work hand in hand with professionals throughout real-world racing to provide technology and fabrication industry's highest level of unmatched quality. Made in the USA, people. Check them out today. Your place for your highest gaming simulation standard. www.gorillacustoms.com.
All right, and we are back live here at Talladega Motor Speedway, the RSN Team Racing Series here on Wednesday nights. And I'll tell you what, Tracy, I'm going to check my calendar down here real quick. Next week, as we wrap the racing week up here at the Nation, next week, I believe we're going to be at Martinsville with the Monday Night Halls on Post. Monday Night Madness. I got to get used to saying that, Tracy. I'll tell you what. Monday Night Madness, Halls on Post, Monday night, Martinsville Speedway. And then, I'll tell you what, you don't want to miss Jesse the Outlaw James and David Big Mouth Bass on Tuesday night, Bristol Motor Speedway with the truck racing from the iRacing side of the house. And then we come back here on Wednesday night with the RSN Team Racing Series. On November 2nd, Darlington Speedway, your favorite track, as Tracy and I get back to racing here with the Team Racing Series. John Westland, of course, always with us in the background, pushing the buttons on the cameras. But I'll tell you what, Martinsville on the 31st, Bristol truck races on the 1st of November, and then the 2nd of November, Darlington Speedway. Right here at the Nation on ETV Live. You do not want to miss that race.
Yeah, Martinsville is always a fun track, JD. I enjoy racing there. I really like the short tracks, because now you've got to use your brakes, too, just as much as you do that throttle, pedal, and steering wheel, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, ETV Live always doing some new innovative things. We've got me and you. Tracy's down there, I'm upstairs. We did have some tricks up our sleeves a couple of broadcasts ago, but the test broadcast, I don't have my props with me.
The term, put a cap in your rear.
Put a cap. Well, you can go ahead and say it. Put a cap in your ass. I'll tell you what, we do have more fun here.
You getting thirsty up there, JD? Because here, you need a drink.
Like that?
Wow, you've imported for him, Tracy. Pretty good.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if nothing else, we have more fun than anybody here at ETV Live. But I'll tell you what, back out here on the track, James Greegate being shown out there in the number 1 spot. Hal Beardworth from Cross Up Motorsports in second. Blaine Dockery, Jason Riddle, Roger Haygood, Chris Wilson. I'll tell you what, the Elite Sim Racing team getting mixed up again here on this last pit stop, Tracy, as looks like we're going to get the one to go. We've already had the one to go. Pace car has already pulled off. Greegate going to pick up the green flag here. But back to Elite Sim Racing, they were making the move just prior to that caution, and now that they've got themselves up to the front, they got to get regrouped and see if they can't pick it up again.
Yeah, they're only one car off each other. Shouldn't take much to get back together. These guys will have to stay single file until they pass that start-finish line, and they're already starting to try to make their moves going low on other people, JD, as we already got 2 lines starting to try to work together. It looks like Chris Wilson and the Elite Sim Racing drivers, it looks like they've already gotten themselves pretty close to being nose to tail already here before we even got a corner 2, JD.
And only one car separates Ernie D'Alfonso from hooking up with Chris Wilson. That'd be the 65 car, Sean Brown, for Crossed Up Motorsports. So Elite Sim Racing, Ernie D'Alfonso, got to find a way around that 65 machine first so he can get hooked up with his teammate. As Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle jump up to the high side, Ernie D'Alfonso will come around, and he should take up a position with them up in that top, but chooses to stay on the bottom so far, guys.
Yeah, look for that 65, jump up in front of the Elite Sim Racing cars to get up there and get up to his teammate and possibly just get around them, as the 65 of Sean Brown is now running right there between second and third place on that outside of that 91 Blaine Dockery. He hasn't quite caught the draft of the Elite Sim Racing cars behind him, JD. But yeah, and they look like they're going to make the move to the outside.
Oh, contact!
Contact, 24 into the wall hard, JD.
With the 65 car, contact with the 65 car coming off of turn 4 there, or turn 2 there, guys. And tell you what, that's going to back the 24 machine up quite a ways here. Still running up here on the top, and I'll tell you what, Ernie D'Alfonso took a hard hit into the wall, guys, as Kyle Lent gets past him and takes up a position behind Jason Riddle.
Now I'll pull us back, JD, see if we can see what happened. I'm not quite sure. They're coming through the corner. Chris Wilson, that 84 machine's right behind them. It looks like Chris might have just gave him a little bit too much of a shove, and he got a big run. He got tangled with Sean Brown there. Just wasn't enough room on the track to support that big bump draft that 84 machine gave him.
Yeah, there you go. Bump drafts, they can always be a big help to you, and they can be your worst nightmare, too, as we found out what the 15 car from Brian Pace did to the 37 on that last pit stop, guys. You don't want to bump draft in turns for sure. But I'll tell you what, Aaron D'Alfonso working hard to get caught back up with his teammates and get back up there and make that top line work as they just keep motoring on.
Yeah, they got Sean Brown down there stuck in the middle. They had a 3 wide there for a little while, JD, but it looked like Sean Brown got his way back up. Lucky the 24 car was able to hang with the draft, even with that damage to the right side of his car. As long as it didn't get to his front end or his fender, he should be all right. A little door damage never hurt nobody on this track, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson have made it past the leaders up here now. The question is, are they going to take a position up on the bottom and wait for Ernie? Or are they going to hang tight on the top up there and wait for their teammate? But only time will tell, as they've got Kyle Linton, that 16 machine, for hold on post behind him, and his teammate, James Grigate, down here on the bottom, as the top light just motored right on past the 7 car.
Yeah, guys, word from pit road, that 24 car took quite a bit of damage on that right front quarter panel. He's got to really stay tight with these cars till we get to pit stops. He's really having a bad aero problem right now, trying to keep up with these with his teammates.
Yeah, it doesn't look like James Grigate didn't much help at all, as he seems to keep falling back of that 24 of Ernie D'Alfonso, even with that right front fender damage, able to hold it around him, and also pulling that 66 of Greg Warren around. Tell you what, doing a great job. I'm not too sure what's going on that bottom line, but they're just pretty much falling backwards as Elite 7 Racing is actually staying on the high side, running the way they're on the whole track, JD.
You bet. As Greg Warren, that 66 machine, new driver here at the Nation, cruises right on past that 24 machine. I'll tell you what, take a look at the right side door of that 24 machine. It's pretty well caved in. And, of course, the right front damage done to that machine, hitting the outside wall there. I'll tell you what, that's going to slow that 24 down quite a bit. And 39 laps in the books here, and that's only about 7 laps from the last pit stop. So Ernie's got about another 9 laps to go, Tracy, before he can get in on a green flag stop and get that damage repaired. So I got a funny feeling that his teammates just going to motor on without him.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 7 of James Grigate, I don't think he realizes the 24 has the damage he's got. He's trying to stay behind him, pushing, losing ground to look for Grigate to get off from behind that 24 car here pretty soon and get around him. It looks like James Grigate also has front end damage, JD, quite a bit of it too. That explains why the 7 hasn't been able to get forward, as he's got a lot of nose damage using that 24 to help him draft up there, JD.
You know, I'm wondering if there weren't more cars involved in that little incident on pit road after that first caution back on lap 19. That was the incident with the 70 car. But I'm kind of wondering if James Grigate wasn't involved in that, picked up some damage, some front end damage from that little incident. But I haven't seen anything that James Grigate has been involved in since then, so that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, when the big checkup happened, maybe he got some damage for that, but it looks like he ran into something pretty hard and pretty flat, JD, as he took a lot of damage. That front end is really wrinkled up. And I tell you what, as long as they have a few cars in front of them that are clean and good, they should be able to pull up to them if they can stay in the draft, JD.
Well, and I'm watching these guys in the turn, Tracy. It's the same old thing from Daytona to Talladega. These cars just seem to wobble back and forth, and they just can't seem to hold their line coming into these turns here. And, there's another tricky part to these plate tracks. You're doing 190, almost 200 miles an hour on the approach to the turn, and the draft is such that you really got to get off the throttle early to avoid collision with the car in front of you, because you get sucked up so fast and so tight that, it just kind of slingshot you through the corners, and you really got to play with the gas pedal to maneuver through these turns. Yeah,
because the front lead car pushing the air, when you take a turn, you start scrubbing speed off with the friction in your tires, trying to get the car to turn, which slows the whole pack down, like you said. So you're back there a little ways, and the next thing you know, you're catching up to them a good 5 to 10 miles an hour faster, having to make a big adjustment. If the people behind you ain't ready, boy, I tell you what, that's how you get some damage in your front end pretty quick, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And back here in 7th position, Greg Warren in the number 66 machine. He's got the 47 of Roger Haygood back here with him. They're about 1.5 seconds off the lead up here, and then there's another set of cars behind them. That's going to start with the 99 car of Steven Spieth. They're about 2.5 seconds back from the lead. And then, of course, Frankie Samato behind them, almost 3.7, say 3.8 seconds back. So I'll tell you what, we're kind of spread all over the track here at Talladega. Kind of unusual to see at this point in the race.
Yeah, I've seen it happen just after the first pit stop, JD, where they get real spread out. It's almost wonder if 47.66 will be better off to slow down, get that 99 speed with them to get a little more speed, because we've seen that 3 cars can run faster than 2, JD.
Yeah, going back a little further, back here in about 11th position, you hook up with Hal Beardsworth. He's got Jason Krause, Ernie D'Alfonso back here. These guys are all about 4.5 seconds off or so. Kevin Frank, Joe DePino, Blaine Dockery back here in 16th position, all single file, trying to get that thing moving, get that line moving forward here. But 44 laps in the books here at Talladega, guys. We're about 4 laps past the halfway point, so a lot of racing left to go here at Talladega.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look to figure out when these guys will be pitting, JD. It looks like we've gotten 10 laps to 11 laps so far in this fuel. So look at these cars to be hitting a lap right around lap 60, or lap 50, which is going to put them 12 laps short to the finish at this point in the fuel strategy, JD.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my damn calculator to work. This thing's probably about 15 years old. It's one of those solar-powered things. There's just not enough sunlight and battery here left in the house to get this thing working. But see if I can't get my other one working. But you're right. The last pit stop was about let's say lap 32. So we've got about 12 laps on these cars, on these tires right now. So we've got about another 6 to 8 laps to go yet, Tracy, before we see green flag pit stop.
Yeah, look for Lead Sim Racing, though, to hit about right around lap 17, being that they're running, a little more fuel through their carburetors, which is shortening up their fuel mileage. So I would say to look for them to at least pit 1 or 2 laps sooner than the rest of the group, JD.
You bet, and I found another calculator that I can use. As James Greegate going a lap down here, guys, being passed by the lead cars, Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson up here, 7 car from Halls on Post. James Greegate, front end damage for that 7 machine, Tracy, as he gets past. He'll be the first car 1 lap down, so if the lucky dog does happen to come out, at least he can work himself back up to the lead lap.
Yeah, I tell you, them leaders are pulling a pretty good distance between them and that 6th place car of Greg Warren. They're back now 4.3 seconds behind the leader, JD.
You bet. And Kyle Lent up here working with Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle up here. Kyle, the kid Lent, I'll tell you what, sometimes we see a little bit of aggression coming out of him. I know he's an eager young man. He can wheel that car as good as the rest of them, and usually tries to get up to the front as quickly as possible. But I'll tell you what, doing a good job working with Chris Wilson, Jason Riddle right now, just kind of staying put. They got the 65 car, Sean Brown, and Ben Bando, Sean Bickle, and that 10 machine behind him too, guys.
I tell you, there's quite a few cars probably out there hoping for a caution, JD, and I don't see too many people getting into each other. So we just have to keep an eye on for that pit road entrance. If we get anybody spin out there, cause a caution. But I tell you, we got a really big pack back here. I'm following Jay Bunn with this group way up here in front of them, and they're working on their way to catch up to that 99 Speeds and the 66 of Warren up there in the 47 of Haggett, I believe.
JD, I'm circling around looking at some of these cars. Take a look at that ETV live machine and a 28 car Howard Pittman. That car is just totally demolished, guys, and he's managed somehow to stay on the lead lap.
Howard Pittman, I'll tell you what, boys, Howard Pittman, he is no quitter. He hangs out, and he'll run that car until the car just don't run anymore. And I'll tell you what, I give a lot of credit to that 28 driver, Howard Pittman, for ETV, and still wearing the Children's Health Care of Atlanta on the back of that car. I'll tell you what, had a good race here a few weeks back. And I haven't been in touch with Dwayne Hall to find out how his grandson is doing, but I'll tell you what, we probably need to hook up with that and check with Dwayne one of these days and get some more information out. But I'll tell you what, Howard Pittman will not give it up, and that's probably the determination that we like to see. Determination we like to see out of these cars, out of these drivers, and the 24 car, Tracy, having a hard time with the 24 car just waiting, itching for a yellow flag to come out, or at least his first green flag opportunity or green flag pit stop here at his first opportunity.
Yeah, get that fender pulled back out for him, and but I tell you what, without a caution, he's going to have a really difficult time getting back up to his teammates up there. They're putting on quite a pace on that front pack, JD.
Yeah, you know, and I'm surprised Hal Beardsworth back here in this number 3 Cross-Up Motorsports. His teammate Sean Brown. Sean Brown's been kind of playing around up here in the top 5 all night long. But the number 3 car usually is one of the cars that we see up in the top 10, at least in the top 5, at about this point in a race here at Talladega or Daytona, for that matter, on these plate tracks. So it's unusual to see that 3 car this far back, guys, running in 10th.
Yeah, but he probably picked the wrong line with the wrong people who possibly had some damage, JD, which will slow your pace getting up to speed, which really puts you behind the 8-ball as far as try to keep up with people. And I bet you we got people ready to start hitting the pits here pretty soon, JD. I'll go up and I'll get into the stand to keep an eye on it.
You bet. Looks like Dwayne Hall, Jason Riddle, Roger Haygood, Chris Wilson, pretty much your leaders up for Kyle Lent, gearing up for pit stops, got their arm out the window and getting it woed up, make the transition off the racing service onto the apron down here. Chris Wilson locking the brakes up, 55 miles an hour, car around. Sean Bickle in a 10 machine around at the entrance to pit road. Green flag is still out, guys. I have not heard the yellow come out.
Steven
Speeds comes sliding in. And looks like he clipped the 10 car, Sean Bickle, just a bit. So we've got a couple of cars here around at the entrance to pit road, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you that Sean Bickle really hit that inside wall hard with that right side of his car. Looked for a lot of damage on that 10 car. It looked like the 99 was just trying to follow another car through to try to get between him and the wall, and just got on the brakes a little bit and lost it, JD, and put some damage on that 99 car as he got to the inside wall and the number 10.
Yeah, and out of that group of cars coming in, Ben Bando makes it out of pit road first, followed by looks like Sean Brown, that 65 machine, and then Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson. So I tell you what, the issues making that transition that we see in every race, Tracy.
Yeah, we got another group hitting pit road, and looks like Jay Bunn got too much rear brake, got spun around entering pit road, JD. He just threw that car in reverse, keeps heading back down, and look for him to do what we like to call a Rockford here, possibly, to try to spin that car around without getting too much more damage.
Let's see if we can pull that up on the E-plate, see what happened to Jay Bunn. He's going to come down here with a group of cars. It looks like he made a real late decision and is going to almost miss the commitment code here, guys, and take the hard dart to the left. Looks like he couldn't make up his mind if he wanted to pit or not. He's not going to hit the wall or anything, but he does spin it around. He just keeps backing it up down pit road, and eventually going to find his pit stall here. Whips a 360, or cookie as they call it. Whips it back around, and he's going to go find his pit stall, guys.
Theatrics at Talladega. I'll tell you what, out of that 37 machine, you know what, Jay Bunn's always looking for some TV time. I just didn't know this is the way to get it.
Maybe we should buy him some ballet shoes, because I bet he wore the bottoms off that one.
I'll tell you what, you know, Tracy, I'm not quite sure why we see this, but it seems like at every race, you know, we see in fact, we had a name for it. Sean Bickle was actually the one that started that whole thing here a while back, but I can't remember what we named it. The Bickle Pickle, I think. Isn't that what we called it?
Yeah, because it always seems like Sean Bickle has an issue entering every pit road he comes into off any of these restrictor plate tracks, as he did again tonight, JD.
I think that's where we coined the phrase the Bickle Pickle. as we've seen that a couple of times here at Talladega. But I tell you what, it happens every race. And here's the deal, folks. You're almost 200 miles an hour going into the turn. 190 miles an hour coming off the turn. And you got to get to that apron line. You got to get off the throttle, warm your brakes up, and I'll tell you what, get ready for that. But I'll tell you what, Kyle Lent to the lead going around Ben Bando down here on the bottom. Of course, Kyle's got some help from Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson up here, guys. As Kyle ducks down at the bottom here, going to leave Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson up here on top. And I tell you what, 2 to 3 down here on the bottom. We'll see if Wilson and Riddle can hang out up there and make it work.
Yeah, I was figuring that the Elite Sim Racing guys are going to get together, push 16 way out there, and then they're just going to swing out and leave him by himself and take over this lead. And that's what they're trying to do on the high side. They got Kyle Lind out there far enough in front of Ben Bando. Ben Bando got back to his rear bumper, got back on him with Sean Brown, and able to push him back around that 96 car of Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson, putting them back in 4th spot, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson giving up that top line up there and just can't get her done up there on the top. So I'll tell you what, 56 laps in the books here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Green flag pit stops already taking place, boys. I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and step away. We'll take a commercial break right here. You won't miss a thing because we got that picture-in-picture thing going. The RSN Team Racing Series here on Wednesday nights. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. You're watching ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. The very best in the business brings you the highest in broadcast quality and archived high-def replays for you to watch anytime for free. Superior audio and exclusive instant replays by the ETV ePlay machine. Producer John Wessling has talented commentators like the Cowboy, J.D. Webb, Tracy Flip Robinson on Monday and Wednesday nights, David Big Mouth Bass, and Jesse the Outlaw James calling the action on Tuesday nights, and don't miss the ETV Live Band. Broadcasting weekly from RaceSimNation.net. Catch the Halls on Post Monday Night Series, True Gravity Truck Races on Tuesday nights, and the infamous Team Series on Wednesday nights at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Have some fun with the broadcast team in the ETV chat room. Hey, and listen to a live race canter. It's all at RaceSimNation.net on the live feed link. Remember, ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting. It's the only choice, cowboy. All right, we are back live here. ETV Live, the only choice. I'll tell you what, cowboy, you want to get see some more of these races, etv-eplay.net. Exclusively broadcast by ETV Live. I'll tell you what, they ain't no better fun than sitting down watching some of these races run here at the Nation. The best racing you'll ever find out here in the online racing arena. But for now, RSN Team Racing Series, we're at Talladega Motor Speedway, guys, and things are shaking up there at the top. Looks like Chris Wilson having a hard time hanging on to that ride as he tries to stay right with Jason Riddle. Kyle Lent taking the lead away from him here a few laps ago. And coming back from the commercial here, guys, they're still trying to get hooked up here in front. Roger Haygood, he'll be the next car in back of that five-some up there. Roger Haygood currently running in 6th. 15 seconds behind the leaders, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, looks like they've got Sean Brown to move to the outside lane, which probably wasn't the right thing to do for him. But he's got Chris Wilson pushing him. But I tell you what, you need at least 3 cars to work that outside lane. I'm looking for Chris Wilson to push Sean Brown up just far enough to get him beside Jason Riddle, and then he's going to dive right back down to the bottom and try to fill that spot, get behind his teammate. As both of them get back down there, Jason Riddle moves a couple spots and gets into that 3rd position, JD.
Yeah, Kyle Lent going around the 77 machine, going to put the 77 a lap down here. Jason Krause, he'll be listed as the first car a lap down now. That's going to set Brian Pace, Howard Pittman back a lap, and Sean Bickle in that 10 machine calling it a night here, guys. Of course, taking damage off of the Bickle Pickle going in the green flag pit stops there. Steven Spiess in the 99 car caught up in that same deal with the 10 car, put his car up on the hauler, and as we say here on ETV Live,
Bo headed for the barn.
Headed for the barn.
Yeah,
So
the 17 of Tom Szynski even parked there, JD.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'll tell you, 20 laps to go here at Talladega, and this is all about the team series, and like we explained at the top of the race here, it's all about where you finish, how close you finish to your teammates, and how forward on the grid that you finished. And I'll tell you what, back out here in front, Elite Sim Racing trying to hook this top line up here again. They got Sean Brown stuck in the middle. Tell you what, like an Oreo cookie here, that Elite Sim Racing team trying to make that top line work again here. 3-2 on the bottom, they should be able to do it.
Oh yeah, they got it now. As long as you got that third person in with you. But what is Sean Brown going to do when they get up here? Is he going to possibly dive in front of the 16 of Kyle Lynch? Get them 3 cars down below working together and pushing Sean Brown possibly to get a lead lap there. As the 96 of Jason Riddle, don't know what happened, but he went real high. So now he's stuck on the high line. We've got side by side with the 65 Sean Brown and the Kyle Lynch and Ben Bando. They're kind of looks like Kyle Lynch taking back up front there as we're running 3 wide right now going down the front stretch.
Tell you what, probably a smart move on Sean Brown's part right there. Just hold your line, stay in the middle. Jason Riddle's going backwards. That's going to put you out in front. So I'll tell you what, they get that top line hooked up and working again, get past Kyle Lynch, that'll put Sean Brown out in front of the whole entire pack here, guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that makes a lot of difference for Sean Brown. If he's in front of these 2 cars, but like I said, look for them 3 to get past this group. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that 84 and 96 to dump the 65 of Sean Brown and try to get by him, JD.
You bet. You know what? Moving back in the field here a little bit, back here in 14th position with Jody Johnson, Dragon Motorsports. He's got the 22 Frankie Simonto right in front of him, back here in 13th and 14th position, guys. But I tell you what, they're way off the pace back here, almost 26, almost 27 seconds. That's almost a little better than half a lap off of the lead here, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, they just went along by that 7 of James Regate with his damage. It looked like Howard Pittman was with them. Tell you what, they got a heck of a pace going. And they got the bottom side heading around Ben Bando and the Kyle Lynch going to be taking the lead, the 65 of Sean Brown, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And Sean Brown dropping down there in the front. He took the whole train with him. And Jason Riddle, Chris Wilson right in behind. But, I don't know what lead change this is, Tracy, but, talking about it during the pre-race, the average lead change here is 14. The highest has been 17 here at Talladega. The 8th time the nation has been here to Talladega, Alabama. But I'll tell you what, 2.5 cautions is the average here. We've had our 2 already. Hey, we'll throw you a third, but not looking for it for sure.
Well, we do have one more round of pit stops, and looks like people sliding in the pit, spinning out long they stay to the inside wall of it, not getting any cautions. But if we get somebody who ends up out in the middle of that grass, JD, we'll get one. And I would think looking for... Go ahead, John.
Sorry, Tracy, I thought you were done there. A driver having a really good run tonight is that 98 of Kevin Franks. He's about second in line here, and it's I guess, the second or third pack here. Actually, he's right behind Hal Beardworth, second in line here in this second pack. He seems to have a very good run tonight.
Yeah, hanging out back here with his teammate in the RaceSimNation.net car, 40-some car, Roger Haygood. Him and Kevin Franks running nose to tail here. They've got the 66 Greg Warren. Greg Warren qualified in for the house team tonight, guys. Greg Warren, new driver to the nation here. Welcome to Greg Warren. Glad to have you aboard. And then, of course, behind them, we've been keeping an eye on that 24 car, Ernie D'Alfonso, the 3rd elite sim racing team out there, Tracy and John. And unfortunately, Ernie D'Alfonso way off the pace, being shown in 10th. He's 18 seconds behind his teammates up there in the front. Yeah,
that's a lot of room to gather back up, JD, as we're looking probably for another pit stop to be happen any time now. I'm going to guess you got to think of seeing these guys here in the 3 or 4 laps, JD, and we'll see if we can't get through pit stops clean this time.
Yeah, you bet. You know, always a tough transition, and you know, we keep referring to it. It's, you know, you got to get this thing rolled down, get your brakes warmed up, and that may not be what's happening out here. Guys try to hit that transition, and then you know, as you drop down through the gears, you know, you got to have your brakes warmed up. And I guarantee you, if you have your brake, if your foot is on the pedal, and you drop it down a gear, there's a good chance that you're going to wind up spinning that car around. That may be what we're seeing too.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lot easier to make up time in pit road on a group in front of you. You can make a lot of time up on them if you can get into that pit road just right where your car hits 55 when you get to the line is probably what everybody's trying to do, which makes you start to overrun the entrance of pit road a little bit too, JD.
You bet. And
yeah, we got quite a gang up on that 65, Sean Brown. I'm waiting for that lead separation to try to find a way around Sean, but he knows how to make that car really wide, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, the question is whether that 16 car and then you got 00 Ben Bando would go with them. Of course, that's always a question out here, you know, who your friends are, especially in a team racing series. You know, you've got 2 of your teammates up here in the front. The third one, Ernie D'Alfonso, buried in the back, right around 9th, 10th position back there. So the only help that Riddle and Wilson have is that 16 car of Kyle Lent and the 00 of Ben Bando. Bando qualifying in for the house team tonight, too.
Yeah, I tell you what, Sean Brown just swung out wide. Not too sure what happened there, as he's letting the 84 and the 96 on the low line, with also the 16. Looks like the 00. He's going to follow that low line, JD. Oh, but they're heading down the pit road.
Chris Wilson, and Jason Riddle gets onto the brakes. I'll tell you what, man, almost misses the commit line there. Jason Riddle smoking the tires coming off the transition, heading down pit road. But Wilson and Riddle making their pit stops now, Tracy.
I just had to hope that he made it underneath that 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, JD, and not going to pick up any penalty, because that could really change their night for sure.
You bet. That might even be worth a second look. But again, one more time here, with about 11 laps to go here, green flag pit stops underway. So we'll keep an eye on pit road entrance down here and see if we see any more pickles taking place.
So far, pretty clean. Joe DiPino, he came in, got his pit stop, got 2 tires and fuel, or just fuel only, as the counselor gets back out on the track, JD. Car around. Sean Brown, 65, spins out, entering pit road. He's out in that grass, JD. Gets it collected back up, heading into pit to try to get back into the pit stop and get his stop done, JD.
All right, that might be worth a second look, too. The 65 car, Sean Brown, taking a ride there, doing the pickle. I'm going to come up with some ballet music for that. What do you think?
And I'm pulling it up here now, guys. He dives down pit road all by himself here. He's coming in a high rate of speed. He's got to lock them brakes up, and he just barely loses control. That car slides it out in the grass, low seat. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of time here, but it could have been a lot worse, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of times you get sideways, you have no idea what your speed is, the next thing you know, you got a drive-through penalty, John.
You bet. Kyle Lent and Ben Bando, your 2 leaders, breaking off, heading down pit road as we speak. That's going to turn the lead over to, I believe, Kevin Frankson at 98 machine, with Roger Haygood right behind him. They have not pitted yet, as they signal for their pit stop, make the transition on their way down pit road as well.
Yeah, they're going to have to definitely change 2 right-side tires on that 16 of Kyle Lent. Man, did he ever smoke that tire? But as a matter of fact, it's still smoking at this moment, JD.
10 laps to go here at Talladega as Dragon Motorsports gets a couple of bonus points here. 22 car Frankie Samanto out in front of the 14 of Jody Johnson. Unfortunately, the 27 machine Larry Mulliken unable to finish the race here tonight. That'll do a number for the points, total points for Dragon Motorsports. But tell you what, green flag pit stops underway, and so far it's like we've had the pickle, twice now?
Yeah, just on that we had two cars kind of get out and get around there, JD. But I tell you what, everybody got them straightened out and kept going. Looked like the rest of them were pretty clean, though.
All right, and Frankie Samato and Jody Johnson should be signaling for their pit stops here momentarily. They've got a pit yet. So does the 33 car of Jerry Hinkle. That should turn the lead back over to the 16 car of Kyle Lent and the 00 of Ben Bandel, Chris Wilson, and Jason Riddle behind them. So it's just up to Frankie Samato, Johnson, Hinkle, and Lent, or Samato, Johnson, Hinkle, and Lent up here as they make their pit stops.
Tell you what, 16 and the 00 Ben Bandel, great job in and out of their pit road as they were able to get ahead of the two Elite Sim racing cars. Made up some time on them. Like I said, you can make up more time in pit road than you can on the track a lot faster, JD.
You bet. And Sean Brown, who was running up there in front with the Elite Sim Racing team, and Kyle Lent from Halls on Post, now being shown about 17 seconds back as Samato, Hinkle, and Johnson make their pit stops. That will turn the lead over to the 16 car of Kyle Lent for the lead up here with Ben Bando, Jason Riddle, Chris Wilson. And I'll tell you what, again, back to Sean Brown, currently running in 8th, hanging out in the top 5 up here with Elite and Kyle Lent, Tracy. Unfortunately, with that Pickle on pit road, 9 seconds back now.
Yeah, I tell you what, we're going to have a great race for this win. You got Ben Bando pushing the 16 of Kyle Lent, and you got the 96 of Jason Riddle being pushed by Chris Wilson. These top 4 cars are duking it out side by side. The Elite Sim Racing up on the high side here, and Kyle Lent and Ben Bandel down at the bottom. Those guys ain't going to give that bottom up around this whole track. Look for the Elite Sim Racing trying to make the move on the outside for this last 7 laps of this race, JD.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, they're working it hard. Elite Sim Racing trying to get the advantage up there on the top line. Got to thank Dwayne Hall for the effort put in at Talladega. Here, the newly paved track, also reworking some of the numbers in that top lane, making it a little bit more competitive up here. Looks like the 96 machine of Jason Riddle gives up. Looks like he almost just kind of jumped out of position there, allowing Chris Wilson to get up there in front of him. Lost a little bit of time to Lent and Bando up here, guys. But I got to wonder, Tracy, Kyle Lent running up there all by himself. His teammates are quite a ways back of him. And, of course, Ben Bando, no help there, qualifying in for the house team. So, you know what, it could be a mad dash to the start-finish line on that last lap between Lent and Bando.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be looking for. But I tell you what, they've got that Elite Sim Racing team right behind them trying to work them on the outside. That's going to leave a lot of space for Ben Bando to work. Look for Elite Sim Racing. Try to get back up to them guys and try to get by them on the high line. As it looks like maybe Kyle Lent was hoping the 55 of Dwayne Hall might have came down and helped draft the bottom. All it takes is one line to have 3 cars for them guys to have an advantage over the other. Right now they're pretty much even, and it's really tough to get that high line to get up there beside the 16, JD.
You know, guys, I believe this is a strategy, Carl. If Dwayne Hall isn't too damaged, as I see him already starting to pull off the pace here, he must have some damage on that car, but this actually gives them 3 cars against 2 for Hall's on post.
Yeah, you bet. If Dwayne Hall can make it up to the back end up here, he's working hard, trying to make use of that draft and inching closer and closer here. But I'll tell you what, Elite Sim Racing driver's putting up a pretty good fight up there on the top. Got to move back here just a little bit. Let's go back to 5th and 6th position back here. And I'll tell you what, this is team effort right here. Kevin Franks, Roger Haygood have been staying together now for quite a few laps here. Working together here, not in a hurry to get around each other, just working the laps off and staying up here in the top 10. That's what you want to do here in the Team Racing Series. Just stay together, finish as far forward together as you possibly can to maximize your points for the night. And I'll tell you what, good job by that Racing Nation team, Kevin Franks and Roger Haygood here tonight.
Yeah, I think you go around the track, JD, some of the guys having little issues back there. You'll see them guys hanging out, pushing each other. I know a couple of the Dragon Motorsports cars I do believe are together working, doing the best they can with where they're at on this race. Tell you what, it's just a matter of time to see what happens up front. And I tell you, yeah, I've seen that Dwayne Hall had way too much damage on that nose to really do any good unless he got caught up to him, JD.
Yeah, you know what, Tracy, it doesn't look like that's happening. Of course, Dwayne Hall, first car, 1 lap down. However, no caution. No lucky dog will fall if the caution comes out here. And with 3 laps to go here. So I tell you what, one more time around, they'll pick up the white flag here. And I tell you what, you got to get her done on that lap. So we're keeping an eye on what's going on up here in front. Wilson and Riddle from Elite Sim Racing trying to do a number on Lent and Bando. Of course, Lent and Bando on different teams up here. But I tell you what, Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle have now caught the back of bumper of Bando, working that top side as they come off the turn here, guys.
Yeah, they're going to try to get up beside them up there. They've got a lap car coming up here. Maybe try to use that as a pick one way or the other to help one team or the next. But I tell you, we got to keep an eye on this final lap. If they get to the back bumper of that zero, maybe possibly give them a bump. Maybe he gets into them, knocks them both up the track just a little bit to give them some room on the bottom side to try to make that pass too, JD.
Yeah, and what gets me is, when they come off the turns, they go up to the wall, and Bando and Lent staying down there on the bottom as we come around and collect the white flag, guys. This is it. And, Riddle and Wilson got to stay side by side with Bando and Lent. One more turn around, guys. Kyle Lent has the white flag in his hand as Wilson and Riddle working hard, trying to get up and get past Kyle Lent and Ben Bando up here for the lead. Coming down the backstretch. Now, they should be staying right side by side, but they don't. They jump up to the high line. They've got a lap car in front of them, giving them just a little bit of help. I don't think it's going to be enough, guys. It's going to be 3 wide going to the turns if Riddle and Wilson don't give it up, as they're working the bottom back here, working the top side up here. Bando and Lent working the bottom down here, and that lap car, I can't see who that is.
Sean Brown, JD.
Looks like Sean Brown up there. He may be putting a block on Riddle and
Helping
Wilson.
him a little bit.
But it's going to be a close one here, guys. Looks like Kyle Lent's got the lead up here. Kyle Lent, Ben Bando, Chris Wilson, Jason Riddle. I'll tell you what a race to the finish, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Elite Sim Racing was trying to do was get up behind 65 of Sean Brown, push him, and use him as that third car they needed in front of them to try to get by that Kyle Lent Ben Bando car. Great attempt, but just didn't have enough time to get it done, JD.
You bet. You know what, it might have been just too late here with the 65 car. I know the 65 car hanging around up there in the top 5 pretty much the whole race, with Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle. Ernie D'Alfonso up there for a good part of the beginning part of the race. Elite Sim Racing certainly showing how team racing, plays out. But unfortunately, Ernie D'Alfonso getting caught up with some damage early in the race. Just could not catch back up to his teammates. But I'll tell you what, terrific finish for Kyle Lent, Ben Bando, and Chris Wilson tonight here at Talladega, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, just great teamwork. Gives Elite Sim Racing another time up where they're going to get that top position for the week again. Just working good, just lost the one car and just couldn't get it back. But tell you what, still a great job by Elite Sim Racing to get a good finish.
All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and step away for the Halls on post-race show here at Talladega Speedway for the RSN Team Racing Series. So sit tight, don't wander off. We'll be right back. All right, I'll tell you what, the Halls on post-race show here for the RSN Wednesday Night Team Racing Series. Outstanding in victory lane with none other than the kid himself, Kyle the Kid Lent, in that number 16 Halls on Post machine. Kyle, I'll tell you what a race here at Talladega tonight, and you really didn't have any help out there. It was going to be a who's who at the finish line. Tell me about your race.
Well, you're wrong on one thing. We did have help, and that help was Ben Bando. Just from the start of the race, I asked him if he wanted to work together, just in case something happened to my teammates, and the team had a rough night, but I stayed out of trouble, and me and Ben kept our cars clean, and we really worked together really well there in that last run.
All right, and I'll tell you what, while the help I was meaning, of course, coming from your teammates, Dwayne Hall, James Grigate, looks like both of them got caught up, and both of them had some damage on their cars, so I know James Grigate working hard to try to get up there with you along with Dwayne Hall, but, lucky for you, you did have the help from Ben Bando there at the start-finish line. Hall's on post, 48 points behind Elite Sim Racing. You guys are up a position. Came up a position last week, kind of stagnated this week, but I'll tell you what, outstanding effort by you here tonight. Any shout-outs out there you want to give?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank Ben Bando for working with me tonight. I really got to thank Halls on Post for giving me the opportunity to drive for them. I got to thank my sponsors, Children Healthcare of America, Aflac, all the sponsors that go along with this program. Got to thank Elite TV. You guys do a fantastic job broadcasting these things. And good night.
All right. Hey, we certainly appreciate that, Kyle. And, again, congratulations on the win tonight. Halls on Post in that Halls on Post machine. I'm going to throw it on down pit lane just a little bit as I believe Tracy Flip Robbins is standing by with the 00. Ben Bando qualifying in for the house team tonight, Tracy.
Yeah, guys, I'm down here. I caught up with Ben Bando running for the house team, ran up front, helped out James Grigate there. Helped out the 16 of Kyle Lent get the win tonight. Great job there, Ben. How's it racing here at RSN for you?
Oh, the racing here at RSN's been pretty good, This is a team series. We came in here as a one-man team, but I used to race with Kyle a lot back in the day, and he ended up losing his partners there, so at the end of the race, I just worked with him. And pretty much my goal throughout that race was just to make it through the pit stops, stay on the right strategy, and just make it to the end without getting in the big one. But there was no big one, so that was easy to avoid.
Yeah, our only big one we usually have here at Talladega is entering pit road. I believe we call it the Bickle Pickle spin out as everybody enters pit road. Seems to have an issue getting in. It seemed to work fine for you and Kyle here at the end of the race. You guys seem to make up some time on Elite Sim Racing during your pit stops.
Yeah, my crew, my unsponsored team, we need a sponsor here, but I got down pit road pretty good. That one stop, I think I went from 6th to 1st. And actually, that second stop, the last stop, if I would have been able to come out with Kyle and not get so loose exiting, I think we may have been able to run away with that, and Wilson and Riddle there would have had no chance. But all in all, at the end, one of us got the win, and that's all we wanted.
All right, Ben, thanks for coming to RSN and racing, and congratulations on your second place finish here at Talladega. And I'm going to throw it down over there to John, who's caught up with that 84 Chris Wilson. I think you know him quite well, don't you, John?
Yeah, it's always nice to get to come in here and support my boys from Elite Sim Racing. Thanks to Comcast, kind of ruined their 1-2-3 finish on Monday night in the Halls on Post Pro Series there. But Chris, spectacular run tonight. Till Ernie got a little damage there on that faulty bump draft there, a little contact with Sean Brown there. You guys seem like you had the cars to beat here once again tonight, but just wasn't meant to be tonight.
No, man, we lost that third car, and that killed our setup. We've got a 3-car draft set up, and if that hadn't happened with Ernie, we would have run away with it. We come from the back to the front twice on the outside with no problems. Just took that third teammate to be there with us, and we lost him due to some unlucky circumstances. But that high line don't work with 2 cars with our set, so we were just fighting, trying to get a good trying to get it go for the win, and we caught that lap car, and if we'd had one more lap, we'd have come by on the outside one more time.
Well, Chris, it wasn't without help from your other teammate, 62, Danica Bolden. He kept trying to throw the rope, but he just kept missing there in them closing laps, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. But all in all, it was a good finish for the Elite Sim Racing team. We may have got the win tonight, I'm not sure, but either way, it was a good finish by all of us. Ernie fought to get the finish he got, and we're coming out of here winners.
All right, Chris, a spectacular. Always great to watch all the Elite Sim Racing boys. A few of us that are left, and just an honor to watch you guys race week in and week out. Anybody there you want to give a shout out to before we send it back up, JD?
I definitely want to give a shout out to my car owner. Don't see him around much, but I want to give a big shout out to him and appreciate what he does for us. And all my east to west teammates, Danny Gabalden wasn't in here to race with us tonight, but I'm sure he was tight to the screen, and he was helping spot some for us tonight. So big shout out to all my east to west teammates and all y'all do in the booth. We appreciate it.
There you go, JD. 84, Chris Wilson, one of them great Elite Sim Racing drivers, good friend of mine, a whole group there from Elite Sim Racing. We all go way, way back. It's I don't get enough time to spend with him like I used to in the old days. ETV keeps me pretty busy, but we're going to send it back up to you, JD Webb.
All right, I'll tell you what, Tracy, Elite Sim Racing, they just can't seem to do anything wrong. And I'll tell you, a good effort by Jason Riddle and Chris Wilson tonight. Unfortunately, that 24 car having some issues out there on the track. But, hey, you know what? Getting out of here with just 2 cautions, a couple of cars, of course, getting caught up with that pickle, as we call it here at Talladega. But I'll tell you what, pretty decent race here at Talladega tonight for these boys. And I'll tell you, the other thing that's plagued some of these teams here in the past has been penalties. And, of course, those are assessed after the race, so I suppose there'll probably be a few of them coming out tonight. But, Tracy, pretty decent race tonight for Talladega.
Yeah, I can't see too many penalties coming out there, JD. Everything seemed to work really good tonight. Very few, with only having 2 cautions, minimal penalties. These guys did a great job here running the series. I tell you what, great race. Can't wait to get to Martinsville, JD.
Yeah, you bet. And, unfortunate for a couple of teams out here, Dragon Motorsports, early in the race, lost a driver, the 27 car, Larry Mulligan, putting it behind the wall, and could not finish the race tonight. So Dragon Motorsports only finishing the race with 2 cars. We still don't know what's going on with the Iron Pig Racing. Of course, Kevin Brent's, Chris Melton, Wiley DePino was the only team member out there with them. We'll try to get more information before the next race for them. And I'll tell you what, all in all, a good race here tonight. And but we do have some people that we need to thank before we get out of here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'd like to thank True Gravity Arts Design for designing the RSN website, NVG Web Hosting for hosting the Sim Racing Nation website, Halls and Post for sponsoring the Monday Night Madness series, the ETV live chat room, and also the post-race show we're doing here tonight. DB Texer for sponsoring the Saturday Night Thunder series, ARCA League Manager, our points manager software, and the Sim Factor for producing a great game like ARCA Sim Racing, JD.
You bet. I always like to thank Exile Racing, sponsors of the Sunday Night Shakedown series here at the Nation. Hey, how about the Nation itself? RaceSimNation.net. It's the best place for online racing in the ARCA series and the iRacing. And here at the Nation, Jody Johnson, ETV Live journalist for the RSN Weekly Race Headlines. Hey, Jody also does the weekly power rankings for the Hop series on Monday nights. ETV Live executive producer, and I'll tell you what, the biggest and bestest innovator of online broadcasting here for this online racing stuff, John the Bad Boy Westling. And, of course, Trackmaster Dwayne Hall reworking the tracks here for the Nation, like Talladega making that 3-car deal with the Elite Sim Racing, making it work. And it's good to see some competition on the upper line and on the lower line here at Talladega. I always want to thank my co-host on Monday and Wednesday night, Tracy Flip Robinson. He's sitting right down there. And, of course, Wendy Bernard, Dragon Motorsports, she usually joins us on Monday nights. It's all on post Monday Night Madness. And, of course, not to say the least here, we always want to thank the drivers from the nation, RacinNation.net. Best racing you've ever want to witness right here at RacinNation.net. Coming up, okay, next week, Martinsville Speedway, the Halls on Post Monday Night Madness Series. You want to catch that live here on ETV Live. Hey, the Cowboy, I'll be there. Tracy Flip Robinson, he'll be there too. John, the Bad Boy Westland, pushing the button as always. And then on November 1st, Tuesday night, True Gravity, Tuesday night truck races, Tracy. I'll tell you what, Bristol Speedway. You don't want to miss that one either. Jesse the Outlaw James. David Big Mouth Bass going to be your host for that night. And then it's back to you and me, Darlington Speedway. That'll be happening on November 2nd. And, hey, another thing, you don't want to miss the Friday Night iRacing Series here on ETV. Hey, pick a race and join us. ETV Live right here on Friday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, ETV Live, the iRacing Series. That's usually the B cars, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll tell you what, tons of fun. And, of course, get into the chat room and enjoy the camaraderie that we see here. But I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up from Talladega Motor Speedway. This was the RSN Wednesday Night Team Racing Series, ETV Live. And we will see you next week.